Good morning, everyone. We are back with another Impact Salesforce Saturday session. Today we have Magesh with us, and the session is on building no-code integration solutions using MuleSoft Composer. Magesh is a MuleSoft certified mentor and Salesforce analyst. Hi, this is Praveen Goli. I am certified Salesforce admin and developer and working in TCS, and also one of star volunteer of New Delhi Salesforce developer group. Hi guys, Hi guys, today we are sharing some swags to you. Please, for social media contest, please tweet and share about this session and win the swags. Before you tweet, ensure you put the hashtag of Impact Salesforce Saturday session and tag New Delhi Salesforce Developer Group. These are the social media handles of New Delhi Salesforce Developer Group. You can follow for updates. These are Impact Salesforce Saturday session is our virtual session organized by New Delhi Salesforce Developer Group. As I said before, you can find the past and upcoming sessions in the website. Let's Implement is a new initiative taken up by New Delhi Salesforce Developer Group. There, we are connecting the mentors and mentees along with the mentorship. There you also get the hands-on experience which you will get under the mentors. Journey to Salesforce is an initiative taken up by Salesforce Developer Group Relations. These are the New Delhi Salesforce Developer Group social media handles. You can follow the official channel and get updates. Thanks to our sponsor, Cloudvandana. Thank you so much, guys, for joining today's session. I hope you all will have great session. Thank you. Over to Maggie.
Thank you, Praveen, for that for that introduction, and I would share my screen.
Yeah, sure.
I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay, and yep. So guys, thank you for joining in for today's session. And as said, for in today's session, we will be going through what MuleSoft Composer is all about, and also a high-level walkthrough of MuleSoft automations and how MuleSoft automations can also be part of a Salesforce automations, right? So overall, when we talk about MuleSoft Composer, the first thing comes to our mind is the term no code, because MuleSoft Composer was meant for it was designed and implemented with admin in mind. So with that, I would just this is a brief about me. I have 2 years of experience in the Salesforce ecosystem. I am also a certified PD1 developer as well as a JavaScript developer. Then I'm also a MuleSoft certified developer professional, and also I'm a MuleSoft mentor. And in the year October 2022, I was chosen as a Rising Stars in the Trailblazer Community Forum. You can reach out to me in my LinkedIn or Twitter and also on Trailhead. So yeah, this is brief about me, and let's get started with our today's topic on Composer. So with that, these are the social media handles of Delhi Salesforce group. So just reach out to them if you want to speak, and also tweet about our today's session. And as Praveen said, you may also, if lucky, you can win some swags. So yeah. So already Praveen went through all of these things. So when we talk about MuleSoft Composer, or as well as Salesforce automations, right? Salesforce automation like flows are now the next gen tools, and we prefer Salesforce flows over Apex in any point. Like previously, the weightage was going through Apex, right? Because if we build a solution, write Apex class, write a test class, and all those stuff. But then slowly, first came into picture was workflow rules, then a process builder, and right now both are retired, and we are now using Salesforce Lightning Flows, right? For each and every scenario, we are able to use Lightning Flows. I have heard many times that Meghesh, uh, I am able to build solutions using flows in a much better way and very quickly within no seconds. But when I write code, it becomes very hectic for me, right? To understand the code, and also I have to write the test classes, check the test classes coverage, and it goes on and on. We have to also maintain those code, right? But over here, when we talk about when we talk about Lightning Flows, the first thing comes into our mind is automation. So let's understand what automation truly means. So the standard definition of automation is the technique of making an apparatus, a process, or a system operate automatically. In very simple terms, the thing which you do, which consumes around a lot of time for you or you, and it is a very it can help you, so we can build a process which helps you in automatically doing the task in place of you. With that, to help you, end of the day, you save time, you save finances, expenses, and overall the company benefits from automation, right? So if suppose I am doing something, and some inefficient thing, and tomorrow the company when the company expands, they see that this thing which I am doing is actually costing company some extra money, and company would obviously want that if we can do the task, you can automate the task or let a process do in place of you, right? Then we call it as automation. So automation is not specific to IT, but automation is also used in manufacturing, transportation, also in utilities like wastewater management, and then facility operations including security, environmental control, energy management, safety, and other building automations. Automations is everywhere, and automation is a term which you would hear for the next century or so, because our entire the way we are solving problems, or the way we are building up solutions and all, it's everything is now being automated. So talking about this, previously, just 20 years back or so, if we know that, we were not having any mobile phones or not, we had to go to PCO call booths and make a call and all, right? It was that time when everything was in manual. If you go to a bank, we were not having computer. People used to sit over there, write the paychecks themselves, get it validated themselves, right? So over the time, what happened, businesses, when they expand, they see that these are very inefficient ways of performing, right, of their tasks which they do. It costs them, end of the day, it costs them a huge amount of money when we see. So with that purpose also, we came to know, then we want to have a connected experience, and we then brought developers and just went on integrating systems. Even though legacy systems, we integrated legacy systems as well up to some extent, but end of the day, it started to have a big burden on the developers. So talking about the statistics, 82% of business teams say that they need easy access to data and IT capabilities, right? Because end of the day, they want to have a connected experience to the customers as well as the internal employees. Now it should not be that I am creating an order over here, then I have to manually send an email to the other person or the other tool admin, then the admin will enter the data over there, then again revalidate it back. This is a very it becomes a bottleneck over the time. And only 37% of organizations say that they have the technology and skills to pace. So not everyone are privileged to have a talented developers, admins, and an architects, right? Someday if we come across a bad resource, then it becomes very difficult to manage over the time. We may not know how much it may be costing us in the background. And with that, only 37% of organizations say they have technology and skills to pace. Only 37%. If you can see that, there is a very huge percentage to capture over there to let your organization scale and do business in a much efficient way. So with that, the organizations over the time came to a very specific set of goals. First thing, it is to improve efficiency. Second is to improve employee productivity. Third, focus on mission critical tasks which cannot be automated. And fourth, use resources efficiently. Why? Because there were certain turbulent times in the resources in our IT as well as in our world, that we hit recessions, and during those time the companies came to know that having everything in as a manual would cost them on a longer run. So they came to a conclusion that, yeah, I need to use my resources efficiently, such that I don't want a salesperson to just to sit on the chair and do a single call in a day. I don't want him to do only that. I want him to do much other tasks which they should actually be doing. Then fourth one, accelerating expectations, right? So if I open a company in 1980s, as I progressed, my product starts to expand over the time if I get a very good customer response. So as I progress, the expectations of the customer from me also increases, because the technology is improving, right? And the customers expect that me as a product should also incorporate those technologies and give out a connected experience to them, give out a good experience to them. So over the time, accelerating expectations are there. Then do more with less. As said that I don't want five people to do a single task. I just want one person to do the single task, and not only the one task, he should also be doing other tasks. So these are the goals which company came to understand over the time. So this is a very specific scenario. If I say a sales team creates and maintains sales data in Salesforce and orders data in NetSuite, which is a very much, common use case if we see in the market. Every time an opportunity record is updated to close one in Salesforce, they have to create a sales order for the products from the opportunity in NetSuite. And then what? Then my sales team has to send the record to my NetSuite admin to enter the data manually into my NetSuite. So if you see that, if suppose my business expands, I create 100 orders, then I need to send 100 emails to my NetSuite admin. Then the NetSuite admin has to then enter the data manually. So if you can see that this becomes a bottleneck over the time, even though your product is performing, but because of inefficient ways of carrying out tasks in your organization, it may cost your organization financial issues, and end of the day you never know when your organization would be going through bad phases just because your inefficient ways of performing tasks. So with that, MuleSoft brought in an automation package, which consists of MuleSoft RPA, MuleSoft Composer, and MuleSoft Anypoint Platform. So MuleSoft basically provides two types of automations. One is the API-led automation, and second one is the robotic process automation. API-led automation, you might be knowing about MuleSoft, right? First, MuleSoft was known for Anypoint platform, and we had to deploy applications on Cloud Hub. Then we used to integrate multiple systems very easily with the help of API-led connectivity approach. So API-led connectivity approach, in simple terms, it promotes reusability of the things which you do in MuleSoft. So with that, if suppose I will just take a very small scenario of a use case which can help, where we can use these three products to save some time and also improve my organization's efficiency. So I send a mail. The mail consists of the leads, the lead data written in hand. It's a handwritten in a sheet, I would rather say that. So now I send the data, I send an email to my admin, to my sales team. Now my sales team would read that and manually enter the data into my Salesforce. Now if you think that over the time this becomes inefficient, because if I get 100 and if I have 1,000 of my sales team on like it's like marketing and all, or going to malls and all, they must be writing all the data down, right, on a sheet and all. So over the time it may also cost me loss of lead records in and also inaccurate information about the lead records due to some human error while entering the data in Salesforce. So for that reason, I would first use MuleSoft RPA. So with the help of MuleSoft RPA, MuleSoft RPA has a capability or a tool or internal power called OCR, which is also known as optical character recognition. It helps to understand the handwritten text in on the sheet, and then it would send it to MuleSoft Composer. Then MuleSoft Composer would then process the data, okay, send it to Anypoint platform. Anypoint platform would then transform the data into a machine readable format. And then I send the data back to MuleSoft Composer. Then MuleSoft Composer can very easily create records in my Salesforce with very easily. If you can think of this scenario as, because this scenario would be taking place as of now as well. Right. This is a very common scenario, and this is how these three products would help you to scale and also help your organization to upskill. So as said that, so 25%, 27% faster automations of business processes was all due to MuleSoft automation package. So they go with the saying that automate anything, empower everyone, and deliver success now. I did talk about MuleSoft RPA, MuleSoft Composer, and Anypoint platform. These three other products, which one to choose? So as I'm speaking out, I expect many of the people to be in the Salesforce ecosystem. Then why I'm learning all these things? Because integration, it's not we will be working on Salesforce platform standalone. We will also be dealing with integrations, and how MuleSoft is now aggressively scaling up. It may be a very high chance that you may be in a MuleSoft project, and this could also help you in your professional journey to understand integrations as well as MuleSoft as a whole package, and also the customer 360. So MuleSoft, as I said, MuleSoft automation package consists of MuleSoft Composer, MuleSoft Anypoint platform, and MuleSoft RPA. So I have arranged it from simpler to complex. In the terms, MuleSoft Composer is used by admins, right? With the help of point and click, no code, I can integrate multiple solutions. MuleSoft Anypoint platform gives me a granular control over my operations, and also it promotes reusability of the assets or the things I perform on MuleSoft Anypoint platform. And the last but not the least, MuleSoft RPA. MuleSoft RPA is basically meant to integrate systems which don't have APIs exposed, or else you want to read a file or a PDF Excel sheets. Then for that reasons, MuleSoft RPA is the best tool to go with. And as said, MuleSoft Composer is very simpler. MuleSoft Anypoint platform is a bit moderate, and it depends upon the use cases. But MuleSoft RPA is a bit complex when we say that. So talking about these three products, there are specific personas who are involved in each of these. So MuleSoft Composer is specifically the product is implemented, with the having admin in mind. It is used mostly by admins to integrate multiple systems. So why? Because over the time, if I just write code or use Anypoint platform, it may burden my central IT team, right? Like there will be so many use cases of integrations, and I have to just go there and another, like if suppose I am a developer, I'm working on an integration. Next time another person comes out and says that this is another, I have to another integration. So over the time it burdens me up. I will be out of question, that I would be confused what to do, which integration should I do and all. It burdens me, right? So for that reason, admin can themselves create integration solutions without depending on the developers. Even though developers can take it up, but it is primarily meant for admins. Anypoint platform is meant for developers purely because you need to have a developer mindset as well over there, and it can also become very complex sometimes depending upon the use cases. MuleSoft RPA again needs a developer mindset, even though we won't be coding over there, but the way we organize and the way we form logic is for that reasons you need developer mindset for MuleSoft RPA. So I have arranged it from simpler to complex. So MuleSoft Composer would be in simpler, whereas MuleSoft RP would be in the very complex part of the product. So this was all about from the MuleSoft automation package perspective. As said, MuleSoft Composer is a low code platform where you don't have to write a single line of code and just integrate multiple systems. With that, let's get started for our demo. So this is our demo for today. So we're working, this is a use case, or I would rather say a case handling use case. Okay. And a very, I would say a common use case in every single organization, right? So the first thing when we say about case handling, it's very obvious that I would create a case object is involved in that. So my customer would first create a case in Salesforce. Now every organization would be distributing their accounts or customers based upon two things: are they VIP or not? What do I mean by VIP are the customers who bring more businesses to the organization than anyone else, and for that reasons I would be paying some extra attention to my VIP customers, right? So for that reason, I have a VIP flag on my account. So first, when I create a case record in Salesforce, I would check that if the customer is a VIP or not. If the customer is VIP, then because VIP customer, I would then pay more attention. Then I would send a calendar invite to my VIP customer as well as inform my regional manager via Slack that see, a VIP customer has raised a case, kindly look into this because it's a very valuable customer to us. Second thing, even though the customer is not a VIP, I need to provide him service, right? So that he can come back to me, bring me more businesses, and over the time he or she, the customer, can also become a VIP customer for me. So for that reason, if the customer is currently not a VIP customer, then I would inform my regional team over there. Now India or any other country is such a huge country to target that most of the time these organizations would be having their service team based upon the regions or the states or the cities, right? So for that reason, currently this organization is just catering to north and the east region. So we did talk about our use cases, but before moving to that, let's assess the technical requirements. So the first thing you need to ask is, do you interface with systems which have APIs? And the answer is yes. Why? Because if we see that we are interacting with Salesforce, with Google Calendar and Slack, and all of these external systems have APIs exposed. So the first answer would be yes for us. Then second question, do you process documents or images? Currently, no, I am not processing any documents or images. I am just informing my sales team that this is the case, kindly look into this. I would be sending the case number, and then my sales or my service manager or the service team would then, go to Salesforce, enter the case number, and they will come to know about the case, about more details about the case. Third question, do you interact with websites or legacy applications which have no API? No. So if this was the case, then I would have been using MuleSoft RPA particularly for this use case. Then, do you need to perform complex data processing? No, I don't need to perform any complex data processing. I'm just passing out the data from one system to another system. Then, do you need to integrate systems not supported by Composer? No. Currently, Salesforce or MuleSoft has connectors present for Google Calendar, Salesforce, as well as Slack. So do you, like the connectors that are present? So the answer would be no. do you have extensive development experience? I do have an extensive development experience, but from today's perspective, I would rather say no, because it's more like an admin tool. So with that, we came to know that MuleSoft Composer is a right tool to be used. We came to we understood the implementation scenario, the use case for today. We understood that MuleSoft Composer is the right tool to be used. Then we need to also know that we need to also answer these questions to better help us understand how MuleSoft Composer can help you with. So the first question to answer is, where does the data come from and where does it go? So if I go back, my data is entered into Salesforce, right? My Salesforce is the first system to be hit. So my the data comes from Salesforce and then it goes to Google Calendar and Slack. Second question, does the data needs to be filtered? Third question, what transformation must be performed and do different circumstances require different actions? So you need to ask these questions to yourself or to the team who has come out to, they need integration between these systems. You need to ask the questions to themselves. So with that, you can come to know more about how you can design MuleSoft Composer flows. And the last but not the least to answer is, determine the trigger, run, and the schedule. Why? Because MuleSoft Composer comes with a very limited set of, not limited, but depending upon the package you have, they come with a specific limit, and you need to be very careful of not exhausting the limits, right? So with that, these are the answers to the questions. Okay, where does the data come from and where does it go? Data comes from Salesforce and goes to Google Calendar and Slack. Second question, does the data needs to be filtered? No, all cases should be processed. As said, I don't want to particularly filter out my say cases which are VIP, or because they are VIP, I will give only attention to them. No, not the case. I need to give attention to every other cases. Okay, then what transformation must be performed? Convert the data in format that Google Calendar and Slack requires. Then, do different circumstances require different action? Yes, because in case of a VIP customer, I would be sending out a Google Calendar invite as well as informing my sales team about those, not the sales team, but the regional manager about this newly created case record of the VIP customer. Then the last question, determine the technical run and the schedule. Run after every new case creation. As of now, I have set this up, but case handling mechanisms, as said, can become very complex over the time. But for today's scenario, I kept it very simple for all of you to understand more about MuleSoft and MuleSoft Composer. So before going with that as well, I would rather say that once answering all these questions, go and draw a flowchart of your scenario. This would also better help you to visualize your flows, your composer flows. So if we say that composer flows, not in terms of UI, but in terms of logic building, are very similar to lightning flows, right? So with that, if we can see that in the flowchart, my Salesforce new case record is a new case is created in my Salesforce. Then I do a check if the customer is a VIP or not. If the customer is VIP, send a Google Calendar invite as well as send a direct message to my Slack on the Slack to my regional manager. If the customer is not a VIP customer, then I would check which region the customer belongs to. If the customer belongs to a North region, then I would I would inform my Slack team, my North region Slack team, that this is a new case has been created. Same thing goes for the East region. Post a message in my East region Slack channel to alert the service team. So whenever you proceed, again, I would reiterate that whenever you are trying to solve a use cases using MuleSoft Composer, then answer the questions which we went through today, and also draw a high level flow chart of the scenario. This would help you to visualize your process in much better way. So I would just go run through the demo part of it. So this is my MuleSoft Composer. Now, MuleSoft Composer is, you get it as a managed package. And once you install it, once you have the MuleSoft Composer Manage package installed in your Salesforce org, you have to go to your app launcher and just type in MuleSoft Composer. Okay, and when you type MuleSoft Composer, this is the first app. It will be in front of you. Just click on it, and it will open up this page. Right now, what you have to do? You have to click on Composer Flows and then click on the New Flow button. So once you click on the new flow button, you have these two options available in front of you. Yeah. So one is the interaction, another logic. So interaction basically means that I have my another SaaS application like Asana, Box, Gmail, Google Sheets, Jira, Marketo, Dynamics, RPA, and all. So with the help of all these tools, I can my MuleSoft Composer would wait for any events to happen in any of these tools, and based upon that it will fire the MuleSoft flows, right? And the another one is a scheduler. So with the help of scheduler, I can run my composer flow for every 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or 1 hour or so. So the other question most of the people ask with the scheduler is this like, can we have a custom cron expression over here? Can we have a custom cron expression over here? And the answer is no. As of now, we can't enter a specific cron expression and let my composer flow run with that. No, but we have also other options like run every 15 minutes or 30 minutes or 45 minutes. So there are two ways to fire my composer flows. One is either through an event happening in my other application, or the another one is to let my composer flow run in every 15 minutes or dedicated interval. So I have already built up this composer flow. So starting with that, if you remember our use case for today, if I would trigger this composer flow when a new case record has been created in my Salesforce org, and I would not set any filter over here because I want to cater each and every case, every customer of mine, right? So for that reason, I haven't set any conditions over here. Then I simply drag an if else element over here, and in that I check if my client is a VIP or not. I have a simple flag set on my case which would check that if the client is a VIP or not. Is VIP is true, and then because I have set it as is true, the default over here is a true, and for that reasons I won't be able to edit any value over here. And then because the client is a VIP, I would send a Google Calendar invite. Once I send a Google Calendar invite, I would then inform my regional manager. For this use case, I am only the regional manager, so I would send the information about the newly created case record of my VIP customer. So once that, I did cover the VIP scenario, right? So for what for the other regions, like the customer is not VIP, then I would simply check if the customer belongs to which region. If the customer belongs to North region, then I would inform my North service team about the newly created case record. And else I would then, because currently I just cater to North and the East region, so I just have two regions set it on my Salesforce in my Salesforce org as of now. So for that reason, I have just kept it as else. Otherwise, if I also add another region like Western, I have to add another block over here and do an if else check. Another thing where people get confused is about the UI aspects of it, right? So I have seen a scenario where a person had queried Salesforce, got a list of records, okay, got a list of records, and then the person had then entered another if block over here. So the if block should the person wanted it outside, but mistakenly it was inside this if else inside this for each block. So we have to be very careful that whenever we click over plus over here and outside. So if I want to be outside, then I have to click over here. If I want to be a part of any element, like if I want an if to be block of for each, then I will click on plus and then click on if else block. So if I can see that my if else block is now part of a for each, right? So this is the another thing where people get mistaken very easily and need to be very careful about that. So for right now, I would just save my composer flow, okay, and then do a test. So right now, when I click on a test button in the background, this application has now been deployed to CloudHub, and it would be, and a specific 10 minutes of time would be allocated for me for testing purposes. Right now, let's wait for it to get started. And till then, these two, this is my DevOrg, okay? And these two are the accounts, I would say, for the demo purposes. So if I can see that I have set two fields on this account. One is VIP check and another one is the region, right? And then with the help of formula field set up on case, I am referencing it from my account and get the values. So if I can see that 10 minutes of time had been allocated, with out of which 30 seconds and has already been consumed. So right now, just let's test it up. So first scenario is our VIP check. So I will just again show you. So my East VIP flag is set to true and the region is East, right? Then we'll go to related and let me create a case record. Then let me enter the case origin as well. Right now, I'll give it a web and yeah. Composer and let me give some random digits. Yeah, let me enter the subject as well. And yep, I would just click on save. So right now, if I can say that I'm creating it from my Salesforce UI, but generally, what can be done is that you can have a experience site set up, and over there, when the customer logs in into the site which has already been published, the customer logs in, and then the customer can also create a case record over from there. So that would be a more specific scenario to be precise. So if I can say that. Yeah, so I did create the case record. Now my MuleSoft Composer is not a real time. It's not a 100% real time, but it's very near real time. That means that it won't identify the newly created case records very swiftly or instantaneous, but it would rather query my Salesforce org and understand that this new case record has been created. So let us see for that. So it would take a very small time, but basically in the background, it queries my Salesforce org to understand this. I hope everyone is clear with the today's scenario. And yeah, so if you can see that my composer has understood that a new case record has been created, and then this specific if block has been executed. So if you can see the customer was a VIP customer, so this condition set to true, and then it sent a Google Calendar invite and a Slack message to me. So if you can see that. Yeah. So if I can see 11:39, this new case record has been created. This new Google Calendar invite has been created over here. So another thing I can show you see. a message has been also pushed to me that, hey Megesh, a VIP customer has raised the case, right? So if you can see, I very simply integrated Salesforce, Google Calendar, and Slack, doing nothing. Now you must be wondering, how did I make the connections up, right? So over here, I would rather show it over here. Yeah. So you have to click on. Let me refresh the page once. Yeah. So let me enter in scheduler and click on plus. Right now, for integrating external systems, you have to click on system action. And over here, you get these icons. So right now for Salesforce, what I have to do? I have to click on Salesforce a connector over here, then give out a name. For right now, I go demo. Then I have to click on connect. When I click on connect, it would then let us show you. See, for these are the my demo, my DevOps, and then I'll click on over here. So what happened? I'm already logged. When you do it yourself, you have to enter your credentials and like you have to enter your username and password, and it gets authenticated, and again you'll be redirected back to your account, and I can see that demo connection created. So my composer has now been, I have connected my MuleSoft Composer with my Salesforce DevOps. So another thing is that when you are trying to connect to a sandbox, specifically to Salesforce, there is a checkbox over here. See, is there a sandbox organization? So if you are trying to connect to a sandbox, then you have to click this up and make it true. Check this up like this is a sandbox, right? So this was one part of it about authenticating your orgs. Then my other use case was, if if the customer belongs to the north region or to the east region, I would then just send out a Slack, click on test, a Slack message to my regional service team over there. So in case of east, it is east service team. In case of north, it is north service team, right? So again, I clicked on test. So when you have created this composer flow, you should not directly activate it. Rather, you click on test, test all the possible scenarios, and then if you are satisfied that yes, this composer is working as expected, then you have to click on activate. Now this is my another account. Now in this account, if I can see that the customer is not a VIP customer, and the region has been set to east, right? So I'll click on related list and create a case record. Fill on the necessary details. And let me enter something. Phone number. Subject. So I'm just entering out any random. Okay, and I'll click on save button over here. Now again, it would query my Salesforce. It would query my Salesforce org, okay, and it would understand that a new record has been created or not. And let's wait for a few seconds over here to let it query and understand that a case record has been created. So we did go through the scenario where if my customer is a VIP customer, then I would go into this if block and then send a Google Calendar invite over here, if you can see. and then send a Slack message to the regional manager. For this scenario, I am the regional manager to it. It send out the case description, the email, and also a precaution message that as a precaution, calendar invite has been sent to you, right? Because I want my regional manager to handle the VIP customers only. Let us go back, and it is still querying my Salesforce org. Let's wait for a few seconds more. Okay. So, because I don't know what issue was there, but sometimes you may come across this, but nevertheless, click on again web, down again, give it some details. Keyword of subject, my okay. And then I would click on save. And let my sales use of composer flow again, and recognize that a new case record has been created. And for the another thing, we all know that this is a lightning flow and this is my MuleSoft composer flow. As of now, both are two different products. Not as of now, but they are two different products, and they can't integrate. As of now, they're not integrated, I would rather say. So we can't call my composer flow from my Salesforce lightning flows, or call my lightning flows from my composer flow, but it's part of a roadmap where I can call my composer flows inside my lightning flows and make that integration work. But still in the roadmap, not sure when it would be released, but it's there. Let's see how it goes, and if it goes well, then admins will be more powered to solve integration solutions as well. Now if you can see that, yeah, it has recognized that a new case record has been created with the necessary details over here, right? It recognized the case, and I can see the case details over here, like account ID or the case ID, case number, everything, each and every information of the case can be seen over here. Then if I see that it went to my else block because the customer was not a VIP customer, then it checked that it was the region north or the east. The region was east over here. If I can show it over here, the region was set to the region was set to east, and for that reason it went to this else block and executed this action over here. So and see, my e-service team has received a message that, see, hi e-service team, a customer has raised a case, and I can see the case description over here. Help me mute it. So I mean, for the north region, it works the very same way. It comes over here and then send out another Slack message to my north service team saying that, see, a case has raised, following requesting you to please have a look, and with all these details over here. It's the very same way what we have seen in for the east region. So that's from the demo perspective. Now let's go back to our slides and we did go through the product, right? We did understand what MuleSoft Composer is and how, as an admin, it can help you to integrate multiple systems. Now, when we talk about products, we also need to know about the errors and how errors can be handled in the product such that it won't lead to any problems to my existing technology or the products which I have. So yeah. So as of now, there are no global handling global error handling mechanisms, but it's a part of a roadmap. For right now, MuleSoft Composer flows can just give you the logs containing the details, the statuses. If you can see in the image, we can see that status is failed, and the error, get the error information as well. We can go through the logs and understand what was the issue over there. So it's just the log. We can filter out our run history based upon the logs, like in succeeded or in status failed. We can filter it out and understand how our composer is actually performing. So as of now, there are 26 connectors, but a new connector has been added, and the count has been increased to 27. So I would rather say that it is 26 plus n connectors, because if suppose there are Salesforce, Jira, and RPA, and all these connectors available, but we do have another connector called HTTP connector. In HTTP connector, we can integrate any external web services. I mean the REST web services you have, and not the SOAP. So for SOAP web services, you need to use Anypoint platform. For REST web services, you can use HTTP connector in my composer to let it interact and connect my composer to my external web service. So this was all about from composer's perspective, and we will now go to the key considerations of MuleSoft Composer. So when we talk about a product, every product would have some considerations that we need to have in our mind, right? For the Salesforce, when we talk about the governor limits. Whenever we try to implement a feature, we first thing comes to our mind is governor limits, and how efficient we can have it set, how efficient we can have a new feature set that we don't hit the governor limits and let my other processes fail as well. Now, first thing is reusability. In my Lightning flows, I can create auto launch flows and call that auto launch flows from my screen into my screen flows or my record triggered flows, right? But not in my but in case of MuleSoft Composer, I can't create reusable flows. It's just if suppose I have a use case, I need to again go through the very same stuff which I have done in implementing the other flows, composer flows. Then there is a no mechanism of sandbox to production. My composer flows would be directly be installed in my production orgs, and everything will be done in production. Now you would be thinking, why would I let my composer, why do I test a product like composer in my production org? No, it's not the case. You can connect your systems to sandboxes and it won't touch your production data, right? So once you have connected it to sandboxes, you can build up the solution. And once you think that, yes, my solution is all set to be deployed, then I have to simply go and change the connections over there to point it from my sandboxes to my production. And a third thing, there is no concept of versioning. In my Lightning flows, whenever I create a flow, I version it, right, from 1.1, 2.2, and it goes on increasing. But in case of Composer, there is no concept of versioning. For each and everything, I need to create I can make a clone, otherwise I need to create a fresh new Composer flow. Fourth point, it's near real time and not real time. We saw in our implementation that it's near real time. That means that it did not instantaneously trigger my composer flow. Rather, it waited for it to recognize that, yes, my a new case record has been created in my Salesforce org. Fifth point, each record processed to a target system would count as each task. Now, in terms of pricing, there is a specific tier that you want to purchase a composer as a standalone application, or you want to purchase MuleSoft automation package as a whole, where you can get MuleSoft Composer, MuleSoft RPA, as well as MuleSoft Anypoint platform. So with that, each of it comes with a very restricted set of actions which you can perform, right? And as said, Composer is a it's depending upon the pricing. You'll be given some limits up, and you need to be very careful of not exhausting those limits. Otherwise, you will end up paying more and more just to get the for allocation of more limits. The 6th point is it's not meant for bulk data operations or for very high data intensive operations. As said for the 5th point, that MuleSoft Composer comes with a very restricted set of limit of the number of I would say limits or the things which you can do as of now, depending upon the tier you purchase. We talked about Composer, MuleSoft automation package. The last thing you need to know that how to get started. I have learned from this demo, but how should I after this session, how can I get started with MuleSoft Composer? With that, MuleSoft regularly conducts workshop once in a month. Okay, and when you attend these workshops, you have a very high chance, not high chance, but you obviously would be getting a demo org of Composer Flow for a very limited set of time. Then reach out to your partner organization, get in touch with Salesforce account executive to secure access to MuleSoft Composer. MuleSoft Composer is not freely available, so these are the only ways you can secure access to MuleSoft Composer. So once you get started, another thing I would say, join the Trailblazer community group. This would literally help you to understand Composer in a much better way. People over here post questions, they also get the answers, because not only people answer, but there are also product managers in this group who regularly answers to the queries which you have and would help you to better adopt and understand Composer flows. The last but not the least, we do have a trail mixes over here, how to get started with Composer, with my MuleSoft Composer flows. So one thing, if you have a development experience with the Lightning flows, Composer flows will be very easy for you in terms of UI, to understand UI. Also in terms of creating integration solutions, it will be very easy. If I can say that the learning or the training the learning rate is very high. Okay, you understanding Composer flow is very high over here. Then we also have a Trailhead simulator over here. So in Trailhead simulator, it's not like it won't give you that level of experience of Composer, say MuleSoft Composer, but it's just that you can understand what MuleSoft Composer is. And this simulator, which I have shared the link, would definitely help you to understand Composer, how to integrate Composer like Salesforce Slack over here in this use case. So this is all about how to get started. And as said, be part of the MuleSoft Composer community group. So Isabella is the community manager in here. So she manages each and everything over here. So if you post your question, there is a very high chance of you getting answered from PM or from me. I'm very active in over here as well. So there is a very high chance of your doubts getting resolved if you're not able to find it elsewhere. So that's all from my end for today. Thank you for joining for today's session. I hope you learned something new, and please share to other people who are new to Salesforce to understand MuleSoft as well, because Salesforce is aggressively pushing MuleSoft to perform more and more and to provide you end-to-end automations as well. Thank you. And you can also, as said, you can connect me on LinkedIn or Twitter, and also onto my Trailblazer ID. I would be there for you. If you have any queries regarding MuleSoft or MuleSoft Composer, RPA, you can reach out to me on my LinkedIn as well as on my Twitter ID. So these are the Twitter handles of New Delhi Salesforce community group. So you can also reach out to them, tweet about these sessions, and you may get something from today's session as well, from knowledge and another swag as well. So yeah, that's all from today. Over to you, Praveen.
Yeah, thank you, Magesh. It's really a great session.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can wrap up the session. The winner will be announced in the next session.
Yeah.
So, Vagesh, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So the question related to the composer itself,
Yeah.
seems like we have a limitations for the reusability point of view, right? So once we create the flows, we can't reuse it, right? So is
Yeah.
there any roadmap we have in Salesforce side, like the reusability point they will take for Composer as well, Composer flow, like we have in MuleSoft, right? Once we'll create an API, we get in a similar kind of requirement, we quickly use it, right? So are we thinking in that direction for a MuleSoft Composer as well?
Yes, yes. So basically, I have already created some of the ideas on ideas.exchange. Already had a conversation with the PMs, and I would, it's not confirmed, but it is part of our roadmap. I'm not sure when it would be delivered because, as a product, if we get the reusability factor, then it would highly improve the adoption rate of the product as well, right?
That's true. That's the like key considerations in picking up
Yes.
a product, right? And
Yeah.
second question is, there is no environment migration like we have in the API world. We have a dev SIT, UAT and all, and we quickly migrate our product, right? But here we are saying like we have to go particular environment and create that flow and test it. And once it's done, we have to change the connection, right?
Yep.
So the question here is, might be in some of the cases we have a different connection details for the target point of view. It's not always the same, right? We can't go directly do the end production, but as you suggest, you have to connect in sandbox, tested it. But my question is, for example, if we have a two environments, they on target side they have also dev and production. So how we can use this connection detail, because probably we have to change somewhere, right? The connection details and all.
Yep. Yep.
So
I
how
mean,
we can handle this?
so over here, if I can show you, see, this is the composer flow which I had built, and you can see, yeah. So let me add another one over here. Okay, click, yeah, click on plus system action, Salesforce, and click over here. Okay, now I have set up an action of create new record. Now you say that you have to change this connection. How to do that is go over here, change connection option is there. So these are already authenticated orgs of mine connected to MuleSoft Composer. So this is another org, and I'll just click on change. So it would ask me reflection, data pills and all, just confirm it. And with that, you have successfully changed the connection. And this is how it works as of now from MuleSoft Composer flows, that for testing purposes, use your point your composer flow to sandbox instances. Once you are very sure that yes, this is working as expected, then you have to just go here, click on change connection, and then list it out, and it's done. It's for each and every connector we have.
Okay, seems like we have to change the configurations. We have to create a two different configuration, and based on environment, we have to select and test, right?
Yeah, it's because if you think from a perspective that this is very much needed, I would rather say that, I won't directly test my composer flows on production, right? So first I would point it to sandboxes, and then I need to, and as said, it won't take you much time to authenticate or connect to your sandboxes or production as well. You just have to, click on the plus icon. If I just showed you, right? It's like you click on the plus icon, system action, then click on Salesforce, and you have to just go there, enter your credentials, then just enter your credentials, Salesforce credentials, and like within a second you are authenticated.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the way how it works for Composer as of now.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the explanation.
Thank you. I hope this answered your query.
Yep. And probably the connections, this approach is, it's very simple, right? We can't have a port opening, whitelisting and all with
No,
Composer,
no.
because it's for a very simple flows and all.
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
So as of now, you don't get granular control of how you need to do in how you do in CloudHub or Anypoint platform. That kind of control you don't get it because MuleSoft does it for you in the background.
Correct. Then we have to be very careful for selecting the target here, right?
Yep.
How they are a security mechanism they have.
Yeah, we need to be very careful about the the naming conventions over here matter a lot, because you not to be confused between two different things, right? Or it would end up have cost to you.
Super. Okay, that's a good. And thank you so much, Magesh, for insight of Mule Composer. We'll start our journey with that, because I am currently heavily working with the Anypoint only. So we'll engage this MuleSoft Composer part as well.
Thank you very much for joining in today's session. I mean, the questions raised by you were very genuine, and it would be very helpful to the people listening, and also other people who would listen to this recording as well. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Magesh. Appreciate to you as well. All right.
Yeah, thank you, Magesh. It's so informative session.
Thank you very much for me.
Yeah.
What is the funda of winners and all? I didn't get these things. Winner announce. What is that?
Yeah, winner will be announced by the Sushant.
So what is the
Yeah.
criteria? What we should do? There is Kahoot questioning. There is nothing. How will select?
By the likes and the retweets, Sushant will select the winner.
Sorry, I didn't catch you. Could you come again?
Yes, means we have taken the social media contest. So who have shared about the station in Twitter, they will get the tags.
Perfect. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Happy Saturday. Thank you so much for today. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. Yeah, can we wrap up the session, Magesh?
Yeah, sure. Just the last thing I would say that
Okay.
I mean, I would be sharing out some links. Okay. Stop my screen share. Okay. Yeah. So I would just share you some links which would so these are my IDs, I would say. Yeah. So if you have any other problems with the Composer or MuleSoft or anything, you can reach out to me over here as well. And also for getting the product improved day and day, I have also raised some ideas on ideas.exchange. So if you find it worthy, then please upvote over there as well. And last but not the least, I would say that once you are getting started, I would say that join the Trailblazer community forum, because if you have something, if you have I would say that query, then if I'm not able to answer or someone is finding it difficult to answer, then I would say just post it on the Trailblazer community forum, because there are product managers answering to your questions as well. So that can also help you to gain more insights.
Yeah, sure, Magesh.
Yeah, that's all from my end.
Please note it down the points in the chat box.
I have added all the points on chat box. So yeah. I hope, Praveen, let's wrap it up. And I think I have covered everything and no one have any questions as well. All good.